Sarah Trahern has over 27 years' experience in the cable television business, with 20 years of it producing and overseeing country music programming. She is General Manager, Senior Vice President of Scripts, Networks, Interactives, Great American Country. Whew, I got it out. Been sweating that one all day. As GM, she is responsible for the strategic direction of the network and oversees all aspects of the network, including programming, marketing, creative, and online. In 2010, Sarah was named one of 30 women power players in the music industry by Billboard magazine. In December 2011, she was a subject and honoree of the Louise Scruggs Memorial Forum at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. Sarah moved to Nashville in 1995 to oversee specials and entertainment series for TNN. She began her cable career at C-SPAN in Washington, D.C., covering politics and public affairs and producing the popular series Book Notes. She joined GAC in 2005, early in Scripps' ownership of the network. She was promoted to Senior Vice President of Programming and in 2010, General Manager of the network. She is a board member and immediate past chair of the Academy of Country Music Association, a member of the advisory board of All About Women, and a member of the board of directors of the Monroe Carroll Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt. She participated in the Department of Defense's 84th class in the Joint Civilian Orientation Conference and is a recent graduate of Women in Cable Television, WICT's Betsy Magnus Leadership Institute. She is a graduate of Georgetown University and has an MBA from the Owen Graduate School of Management at Vanderbilt. As we celebrate those who have paved the way for decades, we are also honored to recognize Sarah, who is currently defining the future. And here's someone who would like to thank Sarah for helping define his future. Here's Gary Allen.
Hey, this is Gary Allen. I wanted to congratulate all of the 2013 Source honorees. Especially Sarah Trahern. She was a big part of my career. She was an early believer in me. She let me do many specials. She's a very passionate person about music, and you definitely deserve this award, Sarah. Congratulations. And here's to all of the 2013 Source honorees.
It is my pleasure to introduce 2013 Source honoree Sarah Trahern. Sarah.
Wow. Thanks to Source for everything and a really, really magical evening. It's particularly remarkable for me to be here because the other honorees tonight are among the first people I met when I moved to Nashville in 1995. My very first project was a Marty Party for TNN, and I met Bonnie probably about a month into my tenure here. I worked a lot with BB and Paula and Jerry and people over the years, and so to be in this company is particularly meaningful to me tonight, so thank you very much. As Cherie said earlier, we have coffee and goo-goos waiting us outside. So I ask your indulgence because it's kind of a hardship to be in the place between you and chocolate. So if you'll indulge me just a moment, because it's very rare that we in the business have a chance to thank people in our lives who've been meaningful. So I will promise to make this short. I really have so many people to thank, but I'm really going to only thank 3 groups tonight. So, but to begin, if my GAC team, the people who are here would stand up. Shauna, we have a bunch of people who aren't here tonight as well. They're out of town, but television is a team sport, and it's an incredibly collaborative business. And I may be the coach of the team, but the coach can't get you touchdowns. The people on my team get me touchdowns every day. Their passion and hard work move us down the field. And if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. So this is an award really that I share with you guys. Thank you very much. And particularly I need to call out my right arm, Michelle Myers, my partner in crime. Many of you in the business know how much she loves the music. And if she didn't do what she does every day, I couldn't do what I do. So thank you for being a great partner. It struck me that this week, just a few days ago, was my mother's birthday. And I'm going to get teary-eyed. Of all the kinds of things that she would be proud of, being here tonight would have been one of them. And I can't look at my cousin Jane or she's going to make me cry. My mother was a very classy, traditional Southern woman. She wore a hat and gloves every year at Easter. She yelled at me all the time up until the week she died that I wasn't wearing enough lipstick. But she was still a feisty, outspoken woman, incredibly passionate about women's rights and causes and music education. And so much, as I listen to the stories of the people tonight, I think how much I would love for her to be here with me tonight. But I am blessed to have my amazing father and one of my best friends in the world here, Joe Trahern, right here. Many of you who've known me a long time have heard the stories of my father's and my relationship and how he really got me into the music business. And it starts all the way back to he drugged me to Bean Blossom when I was about 6 years old, and he made me go get autographs from Lester Flatt, and Marty was little and like 13 and playing with Lester at the time, because he said, you know, they'll give autographs to a cute little 6-year-old girl, they're not going to give it to a 45-year-old man or whatever. So now I drag him around, and he's the one going and getting the autographs. But we continue to this day, 25 years later, to still go to Merle Fest together as our annual father-daughter trip. And I'm so glad that that's part of our lives. What you might not know about my dad's musical influence on me is it really began back when I was a baby. And while most normal fathers, that's to say that my father's not normal, would sing Rockabye Baby and other like nice nursery rhymes and songs to their kids at night, my father sang to me Molly and Ten Brooks, a song about a dying horse. Things like We're in the Jailhouse Now. Or one of my personal favorites when I was a kid, Jackson. And because I was a little girl, I thought it was a song about a sick child. And I would run around going, we had Mary in a fever, hotter than a pepper sprout. Not knowing what a pepper sprout is, but Mary in a fever as opposed to married. So later, I learned what the song was about. I'm like, ooh, thanks a lot, Dad, for singing that to me when I was a baby. Now you know why I turned out the way I did. But seriously, most importantly, that my father is responsible for me being here because of 2 lessons he taught me early on. And I think for those of you who are parents or grandparents, they're incredibly important lessons to take home to your children. The first of which is choose something that you're passionate about, because success will follow. Whether that success is position or monetary or meaningful work. If you love it, you'll be good at it, and it will never feel like work every day. And because of the people I get to work with and the way I was raised, I'm so lucky that I get to do what I do every day. The second lesson he taught me, which I think is particularly important at a night like Source, is he taught me the lesson of possibility. For those of us who grew up in the 60s as little girls, it was still somewhat of a sexist time. And I remember riding an airplane with my father for the first time, and the stewardesses, they weren't flight attendants, and they were stewardesses, came down. I'm like, I want to do that. He's like, great, go plan to do that and see the world. 2 or 3 months later, I'm on another plane. Notice there's a pilot up front. I'm like, ooh, that's cool, I want to do that. He didn't say girls aren't pilots. He said, go to school and learn to fly the plane. And because of that, I didn't learn to limit. I didn't learn to question whether there are limits in this world. And so when I decided that I wanted to do something crazy and give up my great career in politics in D.C. and move to Nashville, I didn't know that it was crazy for someone with those credentials to just jump into the music business. Because he taught me there was not, everything was possible. So for those of you who have kids and grandkids, I really think that's an important lesson, and I can't thank you enough, Dad. You continue to inspire me today. And I have so many good friends in this room tonight, but I can't call you all out. But last but not least, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my best friend and embarrass my husband, Wayne Flatt. So Wayne and I met 2 weeks into my job at GAC in 2005. So good, great dream job, love it, want to work all the time, but there's this guy. Great job, love it, work all the time, but there's this guy. And thankfully, 9 years later, or whatever it is, both are still going strong, thanks to, in no smart part, to a lot of patience on Wayne's part, so thank you. Those of you who are married or in a solid relationship know one of the most important things he does for me is he makes me laugh every day, even if most of the time it's something really goofy I did. I appreciate you for being there. You've taught me the importance of perspective in my life in so many different ways, and I think that perspective has in turn made me a better leader. So I appreciate that. Thank you for showing me that it's a hell of a lot more fun to be married to you than just to be married to my job. And for so many of you here in the music business, thank you for your partnerships. I'm really proud to call you friends and to call Music City home. Thank you, and chocolate's going to wait in just a minute. Appreciate it.